Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. Such a great day. And, I've got, like at least a couple hours to get myself worked up to be able to say it like that because everybody else would be expecting okay, it's Monday, let's get this party started. But, no, you want to hear happiness, right? No, some of you do. Some may just be like, please don't be happy. I can't relate right now to happy. And but anyway, it's a great time to begin, start, a total rebirth. It's spring. Spring started Sunday, and it was 30 degrees here in Houston and Willis, 30 degrees, and it's springtime. But that's okay. I treasure every minute of cool weather because I know what's coming. And so this is great fun to have this just for a little while, because it'll change quickly and you'll be hearing, it's 110 degrees here. Oh, it's so hot. But we've got a beautiful day, gorgeous day. It's going up to around 67 and beautiful blue skies. And so it's a good way to start the week. And I'm happy that you have joined us. We love our listeners on the Cindy Cochran Show because we know that you have a choice of where you're going to sit and listen to your radio station. We've got our peanut gallery out there in front of the big pane glass windows. And if you ever want to come by and see radio in its truest form and, how they used to do it back in the day where people could walk by and watch the disc jockeys and wave at them and they had talk shows as well back then. But it was such a great way to entertain yourself is to go watch what really happens when you're listening to the radio, and people had enough time to do that. It was a little slower time of the century at that time. They were able to just sit there and watch people talk, and that's all they did. But they got to see the personality because the radio was like the TV, and you sit and stare at this radio. You didn't have faces to stare at. So they didn't have any, a face to hang on to that voice a lot of times until they read a magazine or something and saw the picture. But it was just, that voice. The voice meant so much, and the inflection in the voice and all. They just would. Have you ever talked to somebody over the phone like you're talking to a telemarketer or someone, and you try and picture what that person may look like by the sound, just the sound of their voice, what they would look like? And when you listen to Dennis O'Connor do the liners when he's talking about the Cindy Cochran Show, and I imagine all of you that have never met Dennis or never seen a picture of Dennis and what you might have in your mind of what Dennis looked like. Bob, the first time that you met Dennis, and I'm talking to Bob Berry, Bob Berry, Lieutenant with the Conroe Police Department, is always here on Monday. If it says Monday, it is Lieutenant Bob Berry, and also Jimmy the C for sports. But we've got Bob Berry here early in the morning, first thing off the bat. And now, Bob, you know Dennis.
Yes.
And for those that have never met Dennis, don't know Dennis.
You only need to see him once.
And that you'll never forget him, right?
That's correct.
Only need to see him once. And if you were, paid to describe Dennis so that somebody walking down the street here on Main Street would not just give him money or something like that, how would you describe Dennis?
He needs a coffee can with a label on it, please help, standing on the sidewalk.
I'm telling you, he will act for food would be a good thing for him to assign to carry.
He plays whether you need to pay for him or not.
That's true. That's true. Dennis is an amazing actor, and very honored that he does my liners. It's really exciting. So I want people to know that it's impressive to hear his voice, and he's doing my liners. So, and he actually will sit down and listen to the show. Okay, Dennis, I know that sign language. Wrong finger. Okay, all right. He's outside in our peanut gallery listening to the show right now. So, and he loves for me to talk about him. Yes, he does.
Well, you gotta love him, okay?
No, you have to.
I saw him 20 years ago, and in a camping group of us, and it was hilarious. Things that we did during the weekends and everything when we were going camping, and I mean there was whole like 4 or 5 families together.
Right.
And it was just hilarious the whole weekend. And so you just can't, once you see him, you know,
once you met him, that's it.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah. He is, and everyone around here knows him. If you walk down the street with Dennis, it's like walking down the street with Madonna or something, or maybe Lady Gaga would be a better person. But because they all know him and they all stop and have to greet him, and he has to say something rude at least to a couple of people as we pass by. But well, we're so happy that he's is part of the show always. Listen. Speaking of Dennis O'Connor, I want to ask you about a law. Is it illegal for a male person to relieve themselves on the side of the wall here in downtown Conroe?
Yes, it is.
See, I saw something. I didn't say anything.
Should have.
This morning, I'm driving in, and this guy is standing, this big wall, and he's standing up just looking at the wall. It's like his mom had sent him to the corner, you know, so he's just standing there. And I go like, what's that guy doing? And then he starts looking over his shoulder like I'm robbing this wall or something. I couldn't tell until I got close enough to go like, oh my word, he is relieving himself on that wall. That is just, you know, I know that's got to be wrong. That's not his wall. That's not, you know, and so what's it called when they do something like that?
If it's a 3-year-old, it's cute.
Yeah.
If it's an adult, you should know better. It is part of a disturbance, kind of a law.
Is that how they write it up? You disturb the wall?
Well, no, the people around.
Oh, the people around you disturb.
People around you, that disturbs them.
Well, I was amused. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, I couldn't see anything, but it was just like I finally realized what he was doing. What's so funny is when a guy does that. I saw someone do that over at Cinemark. This guy is walking out of the show, and he comes up to this bush right in front of the parking lot there behind Cinemark, and he just walks up to the bush and starts taking his zipper down, and I'm going like, what? And this cop comes over and grabs him. Well, that stops the flow, if you know what I mean. And he starts trying to. I just couldn't help it. I had to go. You've been in this theater for how long? He was really upset, and just gave him a warning. I guess he felt sorry for him because he was in midstream. But anyway, I just, that's what's funny is the guy looks around like what you're doing now is telling everybody that you're doing something wrong.
It's actually disturbing the peace. It's a Class C misdemeanor citation, kind of like what a speeding citation, something along those lines. That's the.
Well, how much would it cost him to do that?
Was that anywhere up to $500?
Expensive leak. Oh my word!
That, yes.
That's amazing. Well, I was very curious. I wonder how if they're caught doing that, what they would be ticketed for.
Males, okay. You got to do the females too. Females, if they did that would be lewd.
No,
that would be lewd as well. Yes.
Well, that would be even more lewd. I mean, at least the guy can turn around and you can't see what he's doing immediately. He had a yellow raincoat on. I have to tell you that. I was walking downtown Main Street in downtown Houston, and with my friends, we just had lunch and we were going back to where we were working, and we looked across the street. I looked across the street and I said, "Look at that guy! Why do you have a raincoat on? It's like July. It's so hot. Why would he have a raincoat on? He's standing next to this tree, and so they both looked at the same time. And about that time, he opened up his raincoat to expose himself, and that's why he had the raincoat. It was just like something out of a movie that you've heard about happening. And we started laughing so hard. I'm sure that wasn't the reaction he was hoping for, but we just started laughing and laughed all the way to the back to work that this guy had done that. It was so obnoxious. Guys are just so weird about that. No, women don't do that. I mean, they don't expose. Well, okay, maybe no, they wouldn't do that. Not on the street. Not on the side of the street. No. Yeah, they do, don't they? Okay, so it's a bad thing for anybody. If somebody does something like that, same kind of ticket. If they expose their private parts?
If it's something that they go into a convenience store, for example, and they were to do that.
Oh, inside
a store or,
yeah.
In a place like that, just to expose themselves, That's a different
ticket.
Different thing, yes.
That,
it's not a ticket. You actually can be arrested for that one.
You'd be arrested for that. Okay. And so, well, but he was on the public property. Is that okay? I mean, he was on the sidewalk. You said if he was in a convenience store or something, but if he was on a sidewalk and did that.
And was exposing on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Yes, it's...
same thing.
It's different.
How?
It is.
You mean you can't arrest him?
It's a lewd act,
mm-hmm.
and it's a higher grade than just urinating on the side of the wall.
Man.
Yes.
Okay. Well, see, now, but I wouldn't turn somebody in that I saw doing that. I see something, he's doing something wrong. I probably wouldn't call somebody and say he did that. And the guy goes, "How can you prove that?" And they'd have to check the DNA on the wall or something like that. It's such a minor thing, but it's still, you said they could be paying up to $500 for doing that. Wow. That is something. Well, then I want to report that no, I'm not going to tell you. But I thought, I got to ask Lieutenant Bob about this, and how would you react to that? Because we were going to talk about, like when you're in a parking lot and somebody, and you come out to the car and someone has broken into the car, or you're putting stuff into the car and someone comes up and says, "Give me all your groceries," or whatever. And that, what would you do at that point when you come out and you discover the act has happened? And we talked about being aware when you leave the car and go into the store, look around and all that, make sure there's nobody around, and make sure your car is locked and you don't have money laying on the seat. That's probably a bad thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll put that money away when I get back out of the car. But
no cameras, no
cameras,
computers, no GPS, phones charging on the dash. It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity, right?
That's right.
And you're begging for it, right?
Most of the crimes like that are opportunities.
Now, has a perpetrator ever said, "Well, look, she left the money on the seat. What was I supposed to do? Just walk by? She was asking for it, so I took it." No,
doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way? Oh,
that's right.
Well, good. Now I won't be blamed. Okay. So if you go in the store and you did all of the right things going in the store, but when you come back out, you still have had your car broken into, and you told me a story about what relative was it?
Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Yes.
What happened to her? Please tell that story. That's a great example.
Well, I can't mention the store, but it's that big gray one with the blue stripe across the top.
Got it.
And so she worked late.
Yeah.
In general, she works late. So she went to the store and bought groceries, came out, and she had her purse on her shoulder. Mm-hmm. And so she was putting groceries in the car, in the back of the car. Car comes by, gets out on the passenger side, starts jerking the purse off of her shoulder. They fight over it a little bit. So ends up she loses the keys, the purse, and everything else that's in there. So she goes inside, calls the police, the constables in that area, and so they do the report. And while they're inside the store and actually writing the report, the people that stole her purse got her credit cards, and they spent $3,000 while they were standing in the store.
In the store,
yes.
I mean, I shouldn't laugh. That's a horrible thing to have happen. But man, that just makes me sick at my stomach to know that it's happening right over your shoulder. So she probably should have reported immediately about the credit cards first. I don't know. We're going to come back from this break. We're going to talk about it. We're going to try and raise Jimmy the C out of bed and talk to us. He said he had a late night, but I'm not going to let that be an excuse. We're going to see if we can talk to him, because we got to talk NCAA. I knew I was going to say that. I knew it. The NCAA. I'm so sorry. Bracket. I'm going to get calls. Yeah, the NCAA bracket. So I'll probably get calls. All right. Anyway, you're listening to the Cindy. No, I'm going to say it. You're listening to the Dennis O'Connor Show now. No, I'm going to. It's the Cindy Cochran Show. I'll own up to it. We'll be right back. Don't go away. There's so much more to say.
The Cindy Cochran Show. the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Tune in to Chamber Chat with your host, Courtney Galley and Samantha Good, with the Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galley. Samantha and I will chat about the Conroe Chamber's upcoming events and programs for the month. Relax with a cup of joe or your favorite drink for Chamber Chat.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. That's right. Thank you, Dennis O'Connor, for that. Listen, you guys have been just inundated, I am sure. Even from the pulpit on Sunday, we had this preacher tie the NCAA bracket thing to the sermon. It was just, I don't know how he did. I kept trying to think, how's he going to work that into the sermon? But he was talking about how he lost every pick that he had done. He had lost it. And so he wasn't successful in that, but he was successful in picking his wife or something. It was just the way he brought it back in, but he had to talk about it. So you hear about it from everybody, and President Obama has been like famous for his picks in the bracket and all. And so I was excited to be able to talk to Jimmy the C this morning, and a belated happy birthday to him from last week. And I think he's still been celebrating. I'm not sure exactly, but good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning.
If that is the most pitiful good morning. But you know, I'm sure it wasn't then because you were sitting up listening to all of the sports-related stories, so you could bring them to us. I think it was you just had too good of a time, right?
That's true.
And it's,
I did.
And you're not 41, are you? You're not really.
Plus 2.
You're 43? You can't be. I just remember you when you were like 3, standing in the driveway screaming at the top of your lungs. I just remember that, Jimmy. You are now. Good grief! I must have been like, what, 13?
I'm 43, screaming at the top of my lungs at the bar, but yeah.
I must have been like, what, 13 when I knew you? No. I had already had 3 children, and you were playing with with Chad, you and Joey. But man, it come a long way, Jimmy. But I'm so enamored by how you know so many things about sports. So the first thing I ask you is about the NCAA bracket thing.
Yeah, glad you got that correct. Yes, the NCAA.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I have no understanding of it. Now, I've played racquetball forever, and I was in a lot of tournaments, and I understand, how, when you go to a tournament and the seed and how you play that out. I understand that. But man, I don't get the NCAA bracket. I don't get it. So would you explain? I mean, and I don't mean like in detail.
Are you really trying to get me to explain this right now?
Yeah, because I don't care what state you are, and I don't think you're going to be able to understand it. It's complicated.
I'll say this: out of all the sporting events you have the Super Bowl. It's not always super. The World Series, it's truly not a World Series. You're not playing teams from around the world. But March Madness is definitely the appropriate name for this thing because it is so nutty. Mm-hmm. And I'm not all into all that brackety stuff, man. That's too much like going back to school. That's
too much work.
Schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Too much work. But I'll say this: the tournament is fun because you do have schools who, don't normally wouldn't get a chance to compete for a championship. That's one thing I like about March Madness, the way they do it over the way the NCAA does college football, because for years, little schools pretty much had no chance. They really still don't to win the national championship in college football. But in basketball, man, if you can get in the tournament, it's just game on. You keep winning. That's why you have all these bracket busters and all these crazy upsets, because you're like, okay, well, this team should win, but you got to play the games, and sometimes that ball just can be thrown from midcourt and just go in, and
there it is.
Little Steve F. Austin has upset, this guy, or Middle Tennessee State the other day upset, Michigan State, who a lot of people thought Michigan State.
Now, Bob Berry just told me
win the whole thing.
Bob Berry just told me that Stephen F. Austin only lost by
1 point from
Notre Dame. That's impressive.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the game of the tournament was last night. A&M, and it was Northern Iowa or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was watching that game at the bar while I was playing cards. I had an A&M jersey on, and A&M, they were the third seed. I think that I was either the 11th or 14th seed. I don't know, but A&M was way ahead. This is going to be one of these upsets because, the Iowa team is up 12 points with 44 seconds left. Okay, now in college basketball, you have a 30-second shot clock, so you could dribble out, the clock and only have 14 seconds left. And I mean, they're up by 12. And I'm like, oh man, I'm zipping up my little hoodie, like hiding my A&M jersey. Like, man, A&M's just embarrassing me right now. They're getting beat by a team that should be slaughtering. Next thing I know, I'm not paying attention. I look up. Somehow A&M has tied that game.
Oh.
And I don't know. I haven't looked. That's got to be one of the biggest comebacks. With like I said, there was 44 seconds left. They're down 12 points, and they go into basically double overtime. And A&M pulled it out. That was the best game of that tournament so far.
So you unzipped your hoodie, your jacket, and you were proud to wear that. A&M.
I was like, all right, man, I'll let the maroon show again.
There you go. Well, I got to hear the story that Richard was telling you. Richard, can you tell that what happened about the guy with the sticky hands?
Dwight Howard.
Oh, I thought Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. What?
He had an interesting post game because he said he ain't tripping. It's not a big deal. He ain't tripping. That's what he said. But no, it was actually kind of a funny article because the way they played it out was he got subbed in during a free throw penalty, and for some reason he got the ball, giving it to the free thrower, and the free thrower recognized that the ball was really sticky.
Yeah.
And apparently Dwight Howard's been using it for a while. And so he ain't tripping. And then the ref, my favorite story, though, the ref comes over, and apparently the coach who had the bottle at his feet tried to kick it over to the announcer's box, under the announcer's box, so it's like no one would see it. But, so I don't know if they're going to penalize the team or what's going on, but he was using some sticky substance.
Now that just
because Dwight Howard's hands aren't big enough for the handle of the basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, not another.
It's like some kind of baseball stuff when guys just scuff the ball or put spit or stuff on the ball. I've never heard of this in basketball.
Please, we cannot have another sticky ball gate.
Sticky on the ball.
Yeah, we can't do that. Oh man, not another one of those things. So okay, but we certainly will follow up on it because I just love talking about that. Okay, so Jimmy, you've done your service. You can now go back to bed, and we thank you so much for getting up on your birthday second week day and talking to us. So happy birthday, belated. Sorry, and thank you so much. And we'll talk to you next Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy the C, signing out.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, man, I just love the seedy side of sports. I mean, it's just funny to me what these guys get themselves into, and that they're making all this money, and they just get it wrong all the time, and just right on the edge of losing everything and being fired and all that, but they don't care. They still do it. But it's like the and I don't know, it was the White Sox player, was that, who was bringing his son with him to practice every day, and they said he couldn't come into the to the playhouse or what they call it, the training area anymore. And where they used to let him once in a while bring the family member in, that was okay, but he was bringing him every day. He's homeschooled, and so the dad would take him to, I can't remember how old he was, but they got mad at him. They said he can't do that anymore. They weren't going to allow him into the clubhouse anymore. And so the guy said, okay, well then I quit. And he quit and gave up all those millions of dollars for not letting him take his son. So I thought that was an interesting, situation. It certainly was great and admirable that he wanted to take his son to work with him. But this guy and all these other guys didn't want, and of course probably it inhibited the way the guys acted and things like that in the clubhouse because this little kid was there all the time. But it made him mad, and they said, okay, well, we'll take your resignation. Isn't that just... So he gave up all those millions of dollars for to be able to be with his son. So how would you see that? Which way would you go on that one?
As much money as he's making?
Mm-hmm.
Tutor.
But oh, that's so cold. He wants to be with his little boy. He misses all that time. He has to, go out of town for games and things like that. And he wants to be with him every minute that he can. And, a lot of workplaces are letting some people bring their children to work, and as long as it's not bothering other people and all that. But because it's a male and it's not the mother bringing him to work, is that why? Or is it because he does make so much money he can afford to have 5 nannies take care of this child? But that isn't the point. He wants to be with that kid, and he wants to have that kid be influenced by him, not outsourced people.
I like my kids and my grandkids,
mm-hmm.
but they're not going to ride in the police car with me.
Good point. Good point. But if you were a baseball player, then what would be wrong with bringing your kid to that? I can see it, I guess, from both sides. If everybody brought their kids, what kind of chaos would that create? And so
it's a distraction.
And it's all that, it's always well, if you do it, then we got to let everybody else do it. So we can't let you do that. And that's the reason why. But it was so admirable of him to sacrifice his job. Now, who I'd like to hear from is the mom. What did she say when she found out that he quit the job because the kid couldn't come to work with him anymore? That would have been, I don't think he even went home and talked to his wife about it. I think it was just like they told him he's barred from the clubhouse, and the kid was, and that was his reaction.
Okay, I'm going to ask a stupid question, but what's Mama doing?
Well, she must have a really good job. And it may not matter. She may be at home because the boy is homeschooled. And so she's probably at home or works out of the home or whatever, but she's at home working. And they thought this would be very cool for the kid to be able to be with his dad and go and spend that time there. But I would think it would be many hours that they'd be at that clubhouse or training and stuff. So the kid's going to have to be,
Well, I think it'd be a different conversation if the guy was good at baseball.
Oh, he's not a good player?
I mean, he's a Major League Baseball player, so he has to be okay. But
Yeah.
he's not like the star player.
And so you think that would be okay for him to just say...
Oh, I guarantee you if, King Griffey Jr. at the time, that's how he got to play baseball because his dad was playing. So he was around it all the time.
Yeah. Well, since it's his little protege, this is the one he's trying to train up to take over the family business. And so he needs to be there, learning and developing and all. But I just thought that was very interesting and high profile. What?
Free training.
Yeah, that's right, training. But anyway, listen, we've got to go to a break. In fact, we missed it. I'm sorry. That was just an interesting story. So thank you for chiming in on that, Mr. Bob Berry. We will be right back. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and don't go away. We've got to find out what happened to his sister-in-law out in the parking lot after they charged $3,000 while she was signing the report that her credit cards had been stolen. Okay, guys, don't go away. So much more to say.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler, or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
The first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Wow, guys, you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. And not only, we're serving it through the internet radio right now, Lone Star Internet Radio, but very soon, sometime in April, you'll be able to be driving in your car, trying to find KRBE, and all of a sudden you come up on 104.5, and you go like, I recognize that voice. I know who those people are. And you'll hear some country music playing, and there are other talk shows besides the Cindy Cochran Show. Make you feel like this is the only one, but there are amazing programming on this station. But it's going to be on FM. Not only one FM station. No, can't handle it. We got to have 2 FM stations, 106.1 and 104.5. Now, if you go there right now, you may not understand every word that is said. But eventually, we're going to be taking over those 2 stations, and it's going to be so exciting. I can't believe it. So if you have suggestions that you would like, of people that you'd like me to have on the show once we go FM, because you go like, I want this person to be heard to over 200,000 people who we will be able to be accessed into their cars, their homes, their phones, and so this show's going to be able to see in so many places. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be hopefully eventually on the community television channel that we have here, but we're going to be all over the lake. And so if you're anywhere around and near the lake, you're going to get us. But it's a large map, and if you go to irlonestar.com right now, and you just see what we're doing right now, the program we have right now, but then you're going to be able to ride in your car and listen to us. It's just amazing. So we're going to try and stay level-headed about this. We're not going to let it get to us that all these people will be listening. And but if you'd like to sponsor this show, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, and you know somebody who's looking for promotion and to be able to bring the awareness to this community about what they've got going on in their particular company, please let us know, because we are looking for sponsors right now, and it's exciting. It's going to be soon, so you need to jump on the train right now to be able to ride that to fame. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to let you know that tomorrow, these are the topics we're going to be talking about. This is either a warning or an invitation. I don't know which it might be, but this is the question I'm asking. What's with all the hating of Donald Trump supporters? I have never seen anything like this. In fact, there's a popular radio show host, Michael Berry, and he had a meltdown the other day about about Trump supporters. I mean, he has been spewing all kinds of hate speech on anyone who would think about voting for Trump. I mean, it's very weird when the owner of a club named the Redneck Country Club calls Trump supporters uneducated, narrow-minded, violent, no teeth, Walmart shopping, low life. I just think that's kind of being disingenuous, personally. I mean, that's just a personal feeling. And speaking of hypocrisy, we're going to talk about the Republican Party leaders. Wow, what is up their flagpole? I don't understand why they're going so crazy, and what they're doing looks so silly. And so I'm interested to talk about that and get some new angles on that. Wednesday, you cannot miss Wednesday, because Dot, and her name is Murter, so it's not Dot Murder. Muter, it's probably Murter. I don't know. It has the pronunciation is weird, but it's Murter. She's 90 years old. She's the oldest volunteer at the Chop House. We talked about the Chop House, the Conroe House of Prayer. And it's well known around the area. They feed and serve the homeless. She is the definition of a hoot. This lady is hilarious. She's 90 years old, and she is volunteering so many places and doing so many things. And so she's the epitome of you're never too old, and you can't miss her. She'll be on Wednesday morning. In fact, I'm going to go videotape her at the Chop House doing her thing, and for a video we're going to show on Easter at our church. But then she's going to come down here, be on the radio, and then she's got somewhere else to go. So I asked her, I said, now, after I videotape you at the Chop House, I'd like for you to be on my show. And she goes, oh, my word. I'm going to be really famous. I mean, Hollywood's going to be calling me, right? And I went, oh, believe me, they're going to be calling you. You are amazing. So we're going to speak to Dot on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to let you listen to some very famous, very wealthy, rich people confess that fame and wealth does not feed or fill the emptiness that they find still inside them that they had before. They thought that everything that through money and fame was going to fill their soul and fill their need, and it hasn't happened. They were lied to, and they talk about it in a very honest testimonial style of people that, I mean, Lady Gaga's on here, and you're going to hear some people you couldn't believe that they're actually being honest about how the rich and famous really feel about it. Anyway, so Friday, March Madness needs to be the title for the presidential race. right? We all agree with that. And we're going to see how the bracket would work for the political games being played out right now, right before our eyes. And so who is your winner? Who are you picking to win? We're going to talk about that on Friday. So that's our lineup for Friday. And now we got to get back to the ending of the story of Bob Berry's sister-in-law, who goes out to her car, finds out she's putting her groceries in, and the guy pulls up. She has her purse on her shoulder. He wrestles away the purse, takes off. She calls the police, and inside, while they're filling out the report, they have taken all of her credit cards, brazen buddies that they are, and go in the store that she's actually filling out the report on and spends $3,000. So, Bob, what are the do's and don'ts what did she do wrong?
First of all, she tried to fight the guy.
You're right.
And she, instead of just letting the purse go, she was able to get all of her stuff back. She was able to get the credit cards taken care of. So that all was good. She could have been really hurt. Mm-hmm. So let them have it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it's not worth your ability to walk or talk or do whatever. Mm-hmm. Depending on, don't fight them. And so give it to them. Most of these crimes are a crime of opportunity and ability. So they'll walk through the parking lots and they see something sitting in the car or on the dash or whatever. That's what they're looking for. That's their opportunity. Then the ability, can they break into the car? Can they get it without being caught? Mm-hmm. And the third part of that is are they afraid of it? Is it worth what they're doing? And according to them, it is. Uh-huh. So the thing of it is, and like I've said before, is when you go to Walmart or one of the grocery stores or wherever you're going, you don't need 5 credit cards. Take one.
Yeah.
Okay. We hardly ever use checks anymore. Most of the time we have debit cards or credit cards.
Right.
So just use one.
So
have your
you
ID.
Need the credit card and ID. Yeah, an ID.
ID, not even your Social Security number.
Oh, no, yeah.
In there. Just your driver's license and a credit card. That's all you need.
Right. And leave everything at home?
At home.
Okay. See, what scared me is I get up there and they go like, I'm sorry, your credit card's been denied. Do you have another one? And you go like, oh, wait a minute.
That's a different issue.
No, you're right. I understand that. But now, tell me this, though. If I lock my purse or lock the credit cards that I have in my purse, other ones in the trunk, is that safer than being in the back seat or on the dashboard?
It does help on the opportunity part. They can't see it.
Right.
It's not an opportunity. They're going to really have to work for it to get to it. Or they have to have time, the ability to go in there and look through it.
Oh, no, Sam always takes I have things laying probably around, and he'll grab them and put them in the trunk because he said that's the safest place for him to be. But I agree, if they steal the car, like, they all went.
It's all out at that point. But most of the time, it's the opportunity to see it.
Right.
And so, out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. And then also, be sure you lock your doors. Your car.
Yes, locking those doors. That's right. I need someone to follow me around, I think, to make sure. I'm trying to train the grandchildren that when I get out of the car, I say, Grandma, do you have your keys? Do you have your purse? Do you trying to train them to do this because I tell them we're all in this together. And then the last thing is, remember where we parked. I love when we come out and the kids will go, where are we? I said, I thought we were over there. Grandma, I said, hey, you got out of the car with me. Weren't you paying attention? Trying to blame it on them now. Now that they can say big words and can discern easily the things that are going on around them. And I feel like they need to be a part of it. Everybody helps each other. But, man, I wish there was some way. I think the chip, I'm ready for the chip to be implanted so that when I punch the button, it goes left lane. No, you're in the second aisle, third row back. I have a problem with that because I'm thinking about so many other things. Look, there's my excuse. I'm thinking about so many other things when I get out of the car and what I got to do and how fast I need to be in there and out of there and that kind of thing, that I come back out of that door and I look around going, where am I? Who am I? What is this parking lot? Where did I park? So, and that's what I said the other day. I wish I could say it was age. It's just, I've always been that way. So
we're going to get you a barcode and put it on your wrist.
Barcode. That's what I need. That's exactly what I need. So thank you, Bob. That'll help me get through this. I know Lori never does that, right? Lori never misplaces her car, does she?
Well, she's been trained.
She's been trained by the best. I love that. Listen, guys, we got to go to a break, and you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Yes, you are, the Cindy Cochran Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler, or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. We are proud to sponsor 10 philanthropic programs that enhance the lives of those in our community. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
I so agree. It is. It's real reality radio. We want you to feel like you can always, contradict what I say. You can call in at any time. Anytime during the show. We love callers. So if you thought, wait a minute, I didn't know you could call in. So listen tomorrow. And boy, you'll even have more opportunity and more probably things that you disagree with me about on tomorrow's show as I talk about what's up with all the Trump hating. What's the deal? What's going on? And, just try and join in the fun with that and have a good time on it. It's just pure political rhetoric we're just going to be talking about. But listen, I mean, this whole past week was our spring break. I don't know if where you are that you're having your spring break now, but we had spring break all last week, which meant everything was crowded. Everything was crowded. But I tried to take the grandchildren to places so that they could tell their friends when they get back to school, like, oh, we did this and we did that. You know, we didn't do anything big. I was trying to find the most economical way, because I was going to take them out of town, because I'm editing every night on a project I'm trying to do for this Easter for church, video for church. And so I'm trying to edit and have them have fun at the same time. But I got to vent. I have to vent on this one place we went to. This is the most outrageous, ridiculous price I have ever paid in my life for something, is at the Main Event. Now, the Main Event is a nice place, great. And if you've got the money, honey, this is the place you want to be. And if you've got time to wait for, to go bowling or wait to do anything, then this is the place you want to be. We went there, and it was just Samuel and I, and he wanted to bowl. So I went up there, and I saw the $9.95. All my eye saw was $9.95, and I went, well, this isn't bad. And I went up there, and I thought we would have paid $9.95 each. But it wasn't that. It was $22 to bowl for an hour, and then you have to pay for your shoes. But we just missed it by 5 minutes, because that's only between like 1 and 4. And the $9.95 was like early in the morning before everybody else wakes up. That's when you can pay $9.95. But we missed it by 5 minutes, so we had to pay $36 for that hour of bowling, and plus the shoes. And then you got to get French fries and a hamburger and something, and then you got to play the games while you're waiting for the 2 hours that they make you wait. I kept coming up there. You sure it's not time yet? No, let me see your blinker. And I go, no, you got about an hour left. Wait, you said it was an hour. Well, it's got, now it's an hour, 2 hours. It's 2 hours. I was so mad, but after you wait for so long, you feel like I've invested all this time, my life in here. I've got to bowl. I've got to bowl that game. So that $50 game of bowling, you just bowl for the hour, and then they shut you down after an hour. Now, you don't have to do scoring. I was thinking, I haven't scored a bowling card in so long. What do you do after the spare, and what do you do before what is it you do? And so everything's automated. They have, my name was up there. When Samuel's name came up, the bumpers came up automatically for him to be able to bowl and not have to go in the gutter. And I told him, I said, enjoy every ball that you roll down there. I want you to enjoy it so much. It was terrible. I laid it. He said, don't make me feel guilty. And I went, I'm sorry. I just can't believe they're charging that much. So if you want to enjoy the Main Event to the utmost, go by yourself, and it won't cost as much. But if you go in there, now here's the deal. Here's where they say, we're going to charge you $36, but that's up to 6 people to be able to bowl. Now, if I'd known that coming in, I would have gotten people off the street, people that I saw, and brought them in to bowl so I could amortize this cost out. But not when you walk up and everybody's standing behind you waiting, and they give you that price, and you go. So anyway, I just got to warn you. I mean, everybody's probably been and they've gone through this, but I couldn't believe it. I was just amazed. It is a fun place, and they've got great games, and the food is good there too. They have good food, and they bring it to you like in a little vest. I should have been raised the flag as they came in, and they're carrying this tray like we're at the Ritz, and they're all dressed up like waiters and waitresses at some fine restaurant, and come up and serve you these fries. And it was just yikes. So I learned my lesson. It was expensive, but then we went to the movie, and they saw Zootopia for the second time. They loved that show so much they wanted to go see it again. And I went, okay, we'll go see it. And it is a good show. It's a fun show for adults. It's just amazing how they were able to make that happen. So kids and adults can go see it. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, still, you can go see Zootopia. I saw Connor Halstead, who you've heard on this on our show before, talk about movies, and he loves the movies. He's a youth minister at the Conroe Church of Christ, and the kids love him because he's just a big kid himself. And so he said, I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane, I think that's the name of it. And I said, well, tell me about it. He says, I'll call you in and tell you about it. So he's supposed to call in and let us know what that's all about, because it looks very, very intense and strange. Bob Berry, Lieutenant Bob Berry, thank you so much for being on the show today. And Jimmy the C, I'm sure he's Zing it out, and he's not hearing me, but I thank him for being on the show. And guys, be with us tomorrow. We've got so much to talk about, and call in and tell me, why are these people hating on Trump and his supporters and calling them bad names? So anyway, we love our listeners. Cindy Cochran Show will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.